Hi guys, so it's me again, and I finally watched the most, one of the most, heart-stopping episodes of Vincenzo, and it's already the beginning of the end. That's why, of course, if you've been watching it faithfully, you would know that they actually, skipped out last week, and they didn't have new episodes. They just had you know they just had to take a time out because they really want to make sure everything is gonna be good. And also, I think yesterday or the other day they just wrapped up everything, as in they're all finished with everything until episode 20. So let's discuss episode 17. Of course, we ended up watching Vincenzo, get mad, unleash his fury towards his mother's murderer. But technically, it's Jang Han Sok who actually, gave out the order. So he finally barges into the restaurant where everyone is there, and yeah, we were fooled again. I was fooled. I thought something's gonna happen, but apparently, aside from being good with the uh, threatening people and beating people up, apparently Vincenzo has a really steady aim. So he actually fires a bullet, and which it kind of wounds Jang Han Sok's ear, and I thought it was really gonna go deaf. Actually, uh, there's this other thing that's really a surprise when it comes to this episode. Aside from what he did with the people, which is kind of, it's not surprising. What he did when he actually threatened to humiliate, give much humiliation to the people who were behind the demise of his mom, and the party, the bomb. But what really shocked me is that guy who actually, if you remember, he was responsible for um uh he was responsible for attorney Hong's death, right, in episode 4, if you remember. And yeah, I mean, Vi- I don't know if it was a factor that Vincenzo's mother got killed, if he actually meant to let them off. Yeah, both of them, right? Remember, they worked as shadows for Vincenzo, but then he decided to actually pull the surprise on the guy. He thought he's just there to actually convince them that he actually has a bomb and there's no bomb. But then again, they were convinced because the bomb exploded, and it's like, uh, yeah. And of course, it's like, is that guy dead? Like, oh my god, he is really dead. I, well, and despite all the brutality in this episode, and the really cool chess scene of Vincenzo, while he's moving the chess piece and talking to Chang Han Sok. Yeah, there's a really a heartwarming moment when um, Zhang Hanso, of course, his younger brother, if you remember, he's like helping out Vincenzo. He actually, he had. It wasn't really sad that way, but yeah, he actually feels that Vincenzo is his brother, I mean that scene in the hockey ring, and yeah, yeah, my heart stopped for a moment because actually after that scene, because there's this guy lying on the ground. It turns out is the other, the other ex lackey of Myung Hee who ended up working for Vincenzo, and she actually had him on the ground and asked them to bury him. I thought it was actually uh Jang Han So, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like because they're really, in Korean dramas. I mean, for example, Otto, right? You have this heartwarming scene. Is that right? Am I? No, no, it's actually Kingdom. Have this heartwarming scene with a guy. Then he dies in extreme. So this one I like. Okay, so it's either that or the meteors. I mean the cliffhanger, right? So that's why I made this review. I usually make reviews right after having watched two episodes when I made this review because oh my god, he just they ended up pointing a gun at each other, right? Chang Han So and Vincenzo. So because this was after Vincenzo told him about that there's gonna be a power shift because of everything that happened, and for some reason Jang Han So becomes the CEO of Babel again. I mean, he was told to, and it's really nice that the head of the intelligence agency, which we thought has been working with the Babel all along, actually went there to actually spy on them because he that guy, the funny guy, I forgot his name, but the little guy, he actually told his boss that hey, you can actually aim for higher position if you we have the guillotine file, we're gonna give it to you after. But of course he didn't tell him that they already have the guillotine file. I mean, they already opened the file. It's not really underground with the gold and everything. So it's really awesome. And let's talk about Jang Han. So I agree with the fan theories. I don't think there are actually maybe just a few people who fell for it, and based on experience. I mean, for example, with Mouse, right? I mean, it's not that Korean dramas are predictable. It's because you actually get the you just have to use your common sense. In the first place, I mean, Vincenzo can get arrested or killed. I mean, it's not because he's the protagonist, because there are other shows, Korean dramas, where protagonists get killed, right? And there's a tragic ending, but it's because this is not that type of drama. I mean, with all the brutality, the sudden deaths. I mean, there's so many deaths here. This show is still more of an some type of. I mean, it's more of still a comedy, dark comedy. It's actually hard to define Vincenzo, so that's why. I mean, I don't really think Jang Han So betrayed Vincenzo, and yeah, of course, the first thing I do when I watch shows like this, which have cliffhangers, I go to Twitter and look at the reactions of the people, and like, okay, so I'm not alone in thinking this, because yeah, they pointed out that when Jang Han So talked to Vincenzo about having something important to tell him, it's in a parking lot, and it's still it's still morning, and well, you can't really tell if it's. I mean, at first you can't really tell in the hockey when they're again in the hockey ring, right? That's overnight. But when the Interpol are going there, I mean, and they surrounded the place, they watch, and then you see, oh, it's night. It's like okay, so that's why, I think they really have planned this, the two of it, and it has to be that way, that they have to be pointing guns at each other, and I think with the speech thing and whatever, because they I think it has a connection with Vincenzo telling Zhang Hanso that you can't get protections from knives, swords, or guns, but it's more of you get protection using your intelligence, and that's what he did. I mean, for the first time, he did something really intelligent. That he has to, it has to be showy, and he has to buy time because he has to wait before he shoots Vincenzo. I mean, he has to wait when all the people here. I mean, the Interpol is already here, so they would say, "Oh my God, Vincenzo's dead." Then there's nothing for us to do anymore. I mean, we can't arrest him because really, there's no getting out of it. I mean, how would you get out of being arrested by the Interpol? I mean, even if he actually manages to, like, because he, remember, he actually was informed of that within like 24 hours, right? So even so, he probably thought ahead and thought that Vincenzo might already have a flight hold order, like he can't get out of the country. So that really the only way is to make it in such a way that Vincenzo cannot be arrested, which is, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's either he's dead or he'll probably, I don't know. But I think that's the way they're gonna show it. They're gonna show us that Vincenzo's dead, but of course he's not. Yeah. And of course, the good thing when you're like dead, your enemies will think, I mean, dead as in not really dead, but if they think you're dead, your enemies will, let the gods down, and that is what's gonna happen. They're gonna let the gods down, and when they let the gods down, they will they will commit mistakes. And but what I'm really worried about here, now that we got that out of the way, is if Zhang Hanso would live. I mean, that's really sad. He might die. I mean, you don't know with Vincenzo. I mean, and they love it, the director, the writer. They loved her. Yeah, it really looks like a fun set too. What are the other highlights? So yeah, I guess that's it. I really hope to. Is that guy Kwak Dong Yon? Is that's his full name, right? The guy playing Jan Han. So I mean, it's really nice that this getting breaks because of this. I'm still sore because Tae Taekyun didn't get nominated for a Baeksang. But yeah, that's it. Ah, is can anybody confirm is if Dark Hole is starting next? I was supposed to watch Dark Hole, and sadly, sadly, I think it's gonna air in real late, like May 30, or I I I don't know. I mean, not May 30, but next week. So, but it's weird. I know it's starting now. You know, is there are two K dramas that started, right? In that one yesterday, and the other yesterday night. In the other night, you have this K drama titled, oh God, I forgot. Undercover, which is, I don't know what's with Koreans, but it's either they like adapting from their webtoons, or aside from doing original work, of course, or they like doing BBC tie-ups, and this was another BBC tie-up. So that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Before I end this, I really like the character growth of Kwak Dong Yeon. I mean, he starts as this dumb guy who who's afraid of his brother, gets full, he gets to be a puppet, not because he wanted power, but he really didn't want power. He's just afraid of his brother. I mean, he's afraid of being killed, and about that, and you don't really, Chan Han Sok, you don't really know what, the character of Taekyun is thinking when he actually, gave him the position and saying that he could actually do a subsidiary. And it's really weird how he made an example of Elizabeth Holmes. I mean, oh my god, the woman's a scammer. I mean, everyone knows it. I mean, everyone who knows about Silicon Valley and the Forbes and anyone who knows about her knows she's a freaking scammer. So it's weird that he made a sample. It's like, but of course he didn't probably expect his brother to actually know about that, because that's the thing. He thinks his brother is inferior to him, and the only person he ever looked at as an equal, or probably someone to be afraid of, is his Vincenzo. I mean, even from the earliest times, like even as early as like episode 6, something like that, right? So yeah, that's it. And I'll probably review, I mean, my next video will probably be about Penthouse, because I'm watching season 2 right now, and boy, I can't wait for June. I hope June comes really quick. I mean, it's almost May, right? Because that's what they said, right? That season 3 is gonna be in June. So, and I'm already on episode I think 8. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment here if you want me to watch anything. Thanks guys.